What's up, Juggalos? Wicked Clown Reviews here, and I will be reviewing every single EP and LP released by Psychopathic Records. And we are starting this whole thing off with Inner City Posse's Intelligence and Violence. Now, Intelligence and Violence is back when Inner City Posse was comprised of, at least as a rap group, was comprised of Violent J and D Lyrical. That is not Shaggy 2 Dope. And Psychopathic Records didn't even exist yet. This was put on out as a Rude Time Productions. And this album was recorded on a karaoke machine at D Lyrical's house. And if you read Behind the Paint, Violent J goes into a lot of details about it. I highly recommend checking it out. But basically, they recorded this on a karaoke machine using samples and other singles, and released the first Inner City Posse album. So for a long time, this was thought to be lost media, and it eventually popped up online. Somebody had a cassette still and ripped it digitally and put it online, and bootleg copies would circulate. And it wasn't until 2017 when ICP finally released their own versions. This was released on the Carnival of Carnage show in 2017, and then leftover copies were sold on the Great Malenko 20th anniversary tour, which is where I was lucky enough to get a copy. So I'm very certain that this source is that bootleg that was released online, and I'm pretty sure the album cover itself is also what was scanned and uploaded online. I don't think ICP has any original copies of this anymore. Which is fine. It's great that they presented it in whatever way they could. But you can see here that this is a cassette tape flattened on a Xerox machine. And you can see the lines here, and this is where the side of the cassette would be in the back, and then the front of the tape. I have no idea if this was actually in color or not. If you look at it, it is very, very low quality. So it's important to recognize the difference between a real copy and a bootleg, because you don't want to get scammed. So first of all, real copies have that diamond hatchet man on the front and on the back as well. And then they also have copyright info down here at the bottom, now that it's on Psychopathic Records and not Rude Time Productions, which I don't even know if Rude Time Productions was even actually an official production company. I think they just put it on there to look official. I could be wrong though. But the CD itself is pretty bare bones, just a single flyer insert that says the ICP is Violent J and D Lyrical, a Rude Time production. The CD itself is a CDR. It is not a high quality pressing. I don't know if you can see, but you can see the sticker starting to come up there a little bit. And then it just says Intelligence and Violence here. So yeah, if you get a copy and you're worried that because it might be a bootleg still because it's a CDR, nope, that's how they all came. So as for the album itself, this is for ICP and Psychopathic Records completionists and people who are really interested in just like the history of ICP, how they started, where they started. Because, frankly, this sounds just about as bad as you'd imagine a teenager recording off of a karaoke machine in the 80s would sound. But while it sounds pretty bad, that Violent J's talent here is clearly on display. And you can really see that he's destined for greater things one day. His rhymes are, very in line with the style he would develop. Even this early, he sounds like Violent J. He raps like Violent J. It's just like, this man was destined for greatness, and he displays that here. He's got a lot of creative ideas and just weird rhymes that were so beyond the norm of what was going on at the time. You know, it's they were so smart to eventually figure out the whole clown idea and go with that because it just fits his style so well. And on Inner City Posse, this is more of like a roll call track where they're calling out all the members of Inner City Posse, you know, Rude Boy, Jump Steady, Shaggy Two Dope, and everyone. And each person is assigned a title and a like job within the Inner City Posse, and you can just see those creative wheels starting to flow, and it's great. So yeah, the whole gimmick of this album, I guess to say intelligence and violence, is that D Lyrical is the intelligence side and Violent J is the violence side. I would argue Violent J's raps are still more intelligent. D Lyrical's not bad, but he's definitely just kind of a little bland, a little boring. There's nothing unique. I'm not surprised that D Lyrical's career didn't take off. But yeah, the intro track is pretty banging, and it flows into the opening, Intelligence and Violence, well. And then we get Wizard of Delray, which is the original Wizard of the Hood. The lyrics are very different. It was later improved for Dog Beats and Carnival of Carnage. And so, you know, the album starts off kind of strong. And then as it goes on, you know, you can tell that they're doing a lot of these raps in one take. And sometimes they're getting very offbeat, and sometimes they're mumbling. And, you know, that's just part of the charm of this album. Violent J's The Mac is kind of a throwback, or not a throwback, but it's a precursor to, you know, songs like For the Hose, and that would happen later on. Gangsta Codes is great. I'm shocked that they didn't try to redo that one for Carnival of Carnage, because there's a lot of potential there. You know, I Violent Crimes is another really good song, although it's way too damn long. It's like it's almost 8 minutes, and there's absolutely no reason for it to be. But yeah, you know, when you think about this album from the perspective of just like something free that a couple kids made up in a karaoke machine in the 80s, it's pretty good. Compared to what would come later, you know, it's shit. It's probably, you know, the worst thing that ICP's ever done. But it's really hard to hold it to the same standards. And you know, this is an important relic. And yeah, oh yeah, and another thing to note to differentiate it from bootlegs, the PSY 000 on the spine. But yeah, Intelligence and Violence. So, you know, if you can find a copy, get it. And, you know, check it out. It's on Spotify, shockingly. And Spotify has a cool feature where if you listen to it on there, it'll show you the samples that they're utilizing, which is really great. A lot of obscure samples here. They're not using like, you know, really popular songs. But yeah, that is the end of the first of many reviews of their EPs and LPs that are coming soon. Yeah, whoop whoop juggalos. See you in the future.